What's up guys, Hobbo88 here and welcome to Dirt on iRacing. It's Dirt Day with Dirt finally being released for the iRacing platform. We're currently in test drive mode, so Dirt hasn't officially launched yet on iRacing, but because we've pre-ordered all the content, we can get in here and do some testing before it actually drops. So we're going to go ahead and run through all of the content and give some impressions based on what we think. So you can see on the screen now we've got all the cars and all the tracks and the order in which we're going to run them. We're going to start with the Dirt Legend at USA Speedway. You might, if I'm smart enough to have figured this out, be able to click on each car on your screen right now to be directed to that point of the video. Otherwise, check the timestamps in the description below to skip ahead to the part of the video you'd like to watch if you don't feel like watching it all. But this is a iRacing Impressions video for day one Dirt, so let's go ahead and get started. We've got the Dirt Legend at USA Speedway. So you can see I've already got it loaded up here in the sim. We're going to go ahead and quickly just check a couple of things. So the options, we have got, where are we? Sorry, controls. We want tear-off visor is selected because now we have to worry about tear-offs. We've got mud. I've also turned off the virtual mirror for testing here. We don't need that. The garage, I'm not messing around with anything in here because I don't know anything about this yet, and there's no point changing it. This is just to see what these cars and tracks are like. Otherwise, we're good to go. So this is the first laps in Dirt, and you can see I've actually got my field of view back a fair way there for this car, so we might squeeze that forward a little bit. Alright, so sequential box, same as the Legend for oval on paved surface. But we've got dirt tyres, basically a dirt package, and we've got a dirt track. So I'm just going to roll around here and look at the track real quick. Straight out of the box. So this is USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida, which is a former oval track, and this is no longer exists, is my understanding. So this is a, I guess, a fantasy sort of track. You see, we've got some mud up on the screen. We'll use a tear off. This is a fantasy track, essentially, that iRacing has given us for free. They've got their artists to just render dirt on this surface, which is good. Gives us something extra to race on for the time being until they scan some more gear. But yeah, that's the story behind this track. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying they're looking forward to seeing me drive dirt in iRacing because they think that I'm a superstar driver or something. Do not be surprised to see me go into the fence and upside down a lot in this video. Obviously, haven't had a chance to mess around with this, so I'm not an alpha tester or beta tester. So this is first for me. Expect it to be a little bit dodgy, but let's go ahead and see. Let's crank this up. Five speed.
38.948.
So far, so good. One corner and we haven't hit anything. So this is a combination that anyone with an iRacing subscription can get access to for free.
28.169.
I've already mentioned that this is one of the free tracks. But the Legend is also one of the free cars. The Legend is one of the free cars on the road or paved surface as well. One of the rookie oval cars, which you can drive on the road as well.
27.768.
But all the way to the limit down the main straight there, that was cool. And I have to say, this car is very drivable. It's fast, and I find that on the paved circuits it's quite twitchy. It can be a bit difficult to drive at times. But in here, so far, it's been awesome fun. Very easy to drive. Now something else I'll point out right now before anyone asks, we don't get any choice on time of day, track state or anything like that in test drive mode.
27.3.
You don't even get to pick out paints or car numbers or anything. It's just you get what you get. Everything's default, time of day, weather, track condition, all that stuff. We don't get to pick it. So all these videos will be just regular old time of day. And I have to say, I'm just taken aback by the graphical fidelity of the track surface. Like,
347.
something that we're not going to see in these videos is the evolving track and slicking off and, you know, putting rubber down and all that stuff. That'll happen on a lot of track usage, but we're just doing some short squirts here with the cars on the track, so we're not going to see any of that. But the graphical fidelity, the tyre tracks in the mud look fantastic.
27.175.
Really threw it down into turn one that time. Actually hold it flat all the way. Never lift.
27.257.
Kind of feel like, and it could be just my imagination, kind of feel like you can almost start to see that pole line in the corners starting to lighten off a little. Could be just me being deceived. What you should see over time,
27.139.
you can sort of see it, I reckon, a little bit down here in turn one. But the track should start to lighten off as it loses moisture. I believe that this is 100, oh sorry, not 100% track state, 0% track state, which means completely tacky, not driven on at all, fully prepped before a race meeting style. So what you'll see is the colour of the dirt start to lighten off as it dries out, and then it'll slicken off to a point where you start to get less traction, less grip, and you'll start to work your way up the surface looking for moisture to get extra grip and speed. By the way, that's tear-off animation, I love it. The mud on the visor is actually quite convincing too. Doesn't look real dodgy, actually looks quite good.
27.611.
There's that nice visor animation. All we need now is the hand animation as well coming across the screen. So what we're going to do here is we'll come around in and we'll park it. We'll have a bit of a look at the replay and watch what this thing looks like from the outside. So I feel like I've got my head around how it drives now. You can see the pit entrance is a little bit different here for dirt. We'll go ahead and park it. Let's have a bit of a look at this. We're going to go back here a few laps. The best lap was actually quite early on in the session there. And I can't quite remember what the next key, next camera key is. So we'll have to leave it on TV1 for the second. Look at the mud flicking up. That's also very cool. You can actually see that. And I do wonder what it'll be like around other cars when we're racing against other people, whether or not being directly behind someone will affect the amount of mud you get on the visor. I am noticing that at the minute it doesn't look like mud flicks onto the car itself. That may be different when you're around traffic, it may just be something that isn't implemented yet. The tyres kind of look like they might be dirty. Very fast, deceivingly fast cars, the Legends, has to be said. Anyway, we're about 10 minutes there into this video, so I'm going to go ahead now. We're going to skip onto the next car. Let's bring that up over here. That is going to be the street stock. Let's just make sure that the website's loading properly before we shut the server. Alrighty. So this time we're going to have a run in the street stock. The same track, USA Speedway, and the reason why I'm doing that is this is all the free content. So you can run either the Legend or the street stock at USA Speedway with free content. So as long as you've got an iRacing subscription, you'll have access to this. So that's why I'm running these two cars here. And then you can also see, well, we've got some big bangers coming up. We've got the trucks at Eldora, which I haven't checked to make sure that we've actually got access to the truck, honestly. But if we do, we've got the trucks at Eldora. We've got the late models at Volusia, and we've got sprint cars at Williams Grove. So let's go ahead and take a bit of a look here at this car. And I'm probably a little bit too far in on my... doesn't that sound good? Okay, so street stock time. We're already familiar with the track. Bit of a feel for how the car handles, which is probably not going to be great. It is a street stock after all. There's not a lot of power in these things, and they do feel quite heavy and sluggish. Boy, you really have to let off early into the corners too. I thought that I was being very conservative there, but still only just pulled it up. These are one of the cars I've really been looking forward to. I love this sort of thing. Low powered.
26.925.
Heavy. They're a real driver's driver car, you know. If you're going to be good in a car like this, it's because you're a good driver. Setups won't come into it too much, I wouldn't think, in something like this. And I'm clearly not driving it the way you probably should here as well. Throwing the car at the corner like that. It just doesn't have the power to drive up off the corner.
26.745.
But that's what I like to do. Good bit of fun. Can sort of hold the drift all the way up off the bend. But I really probably should be trying to hold a little bit better line through the corner and get more momentum off. Being a track with long straights, you want to get good speed down the straights.
26.961.
I'm also running a bit higher line here as well, partially because the thing doesn't stop like the Legend does, not as pointy. Oh, this is going to be the wall. Whoa. But partially because big slides, a lot more fun.
27.032.
But ideally you want to probably be down here right on the bottom. And I don't do a lot of oval racing on the paved side of things, but this track, USA Speedway, and the paved variation, and the street stocks, which is the rookie combination that you can run when you're in iRacing with the free content, it still to this day might be my favourite paved oval combination. I'm finding it very hard to pick a better combination than the iRacing street stock USA Speedway, and so far I have to admit that this car and this track is just as good as I was hoping it would be.
27.115.
Getting the hang of it now. Still probably miles off the pace. Certainly probably nowhere near as smooth as we want to be at the corners, but you know what? first laps in iRacing Dirt.
26.5.
I'm not expecting to be perfect or fast. To be honest, I'm quite impressed that I haven't even hit the wall yet. All spun out. But I can definitely say if you're a person who hasn't got a lot of experience messing around with these sort of things, obviously I've done a lot of dirt racing on R Factor, although that's different.
5, 8.
And although it's also not, there's the wall. Although it's also not real life experience, it certainly serves me well for stepping into something like this for the first time. But I would recommend, if you don't have a lot of experience, that you should mess around with these cars before you go straight to the big banger 410 sprint car or something like that, because they're a pretty hard car to drive.
27.341.
Whereas something like this, you know, you can learn the boundaries and learn the way to slide the cars. You know, the thing that has impressed me the most so far is that there's no evidence of the dodgy iRacing physics with slides and things where the cars don't correct themselves properly and you end up with that stupid snap oversteer issue where you overcorrect the car and snaps into the wall.
26.5.
And if I'm being honest, that sort of thing shouldn't be happening if you're going to be doing dirt content anyway, but the car that it feels, this one anyway, feels quite lazy on the dirt. It's slow and cumbersome. That's the characteristic of this sort of car, but the slide is very catchable, it's very drivable. Something that you don't hear said about iRacing vehicles all that often is that they're very catchable and savable in a slide.
2.
And it's one of the things that's got me worried the most coming into this, is how well the iRacing physics would handle drifting essentially around corners. And I have to say, I'm really impressed so far. And I could just do this for hours and hours and hours. We'll do a couple more laps here and then we'll get out and have a look at the external shot.
26.494.
And again, I feel like I can start to see the line just lightening off a little bit. The racing line, the groove, starting to dry out just a little. Look at it down here at the turn into turn 3. It's not completely obvious just yet, but I feel like you can sort of see it in spots. It's getting patchy, where the mud's starting to dry out a bit.
26.199.
That's one of the things that's got me really excited about this whole iRacing dirt deal, is the dynamic tracks. Not only are they the best looking dirt tracks in the game by far, because that's not even in the same ballpark as anything else at the minute, but they're also dynamic. They change as the race goes on. The more laps you put on them, the more the track slickens off. And not only does it happen in the physics, but it also happens visually. In real time. That's the cool thing about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the tracks progress across a long session with a lot of cars. And supposedly the track should be capable of blue grooving or taking rubber, blackening off, which will be extremely cool and will be a very different element.
26.
Can't imagine how these cars will drive once they get onto rubber. We see stuff like we see in the World of Outlaws on a rubber down track with a really, really fast track on the cushion, and all of a sudden there's rubber in the middle and the cars on the rubber are going way faster. It'll make for really interesting racing. I'm looking forward to it.
26.552.
I feel like that line you can certainly see now, I think, and I don't think it's just my eyes playing a trick on me, but it's lightening off. Look at this in the turn in here. You can see the track's looking a little bit lighter than it was when we first started, and that's exciting to me.
.407.
On that high line. We're going to park it this time. Have a bit of a look at the external shot again. I only just got the thing in pit lane. That would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? Hitting the pit wall. So we're just going to go back here again. We'll go back a few laps and watch for just a bit. So this is the Camaro that this is based off, and they do look funny, I'll admit, with the wheels that extend beyond the guards as much as they do. But you know, any of my Australian viewers are going to know that we don't have street stocks that look anything like this here in Australia. But it is a pretty tough looking car all the same. I quite like the look of the stock car on the paved version of iRacing, but this also looks really cool. It's got that real angry looking front on it. Again, you see the mud flicking up. I have to say that's pretty impressive. So we're going to go ahead here and see whether or not the website's still working. Again, this is the thing with testing. You have to see whether or not the track is actually... the website's actually working at the time you want to test it. So next we have the trucks. Now, this is where I'm not sure. So let me just go ahead and refresh everything here. So I don't know that I actually have access to the dirt version of the trucks at the minute. So quickly have a look. What have we got? All the dirt late models, dirt sprint cars, dirt legends, dirt street stocks. I'm not sure that Camping World Chevy Silverado is going to be the right one, because it doesn't say anything about dirt on it, so I'm guessing that that's not going to work. But you know what, there's only one way to try it, and that's the click on it, see what it does. So Silverado, no, that's the 2013 one. Camping World Trucks Chevy Silverado at Eldora. Okay. And I'll just quickly check to see whether or not there's any updates available, which is not. So let's go ahead and test this, and we'll see whether or not it works, but I am a little bit pessimistic. All right. Now my guess will be that this will fail tech straight away, in which case it's probably... Yeah, so to me, that looks like it's not going to work, and the setup is a Richmond setup, so that isn't going to be the one that we want. So we're going to have to skip this one just for the minute, and we'll come back to it shortly. Just going to have one last look, just to make sure that I haven't missed something obvious. I can't see anything in there. So we'll go ahead and we'll skip on to the next combination, which is the super late model at Volusia. Now, I would recommend, again, if you're new to this, that you go ahead and start with the limited and then pro dirt late models, but I'm going to see how we go here and just go straight to the super late model and see what happens. Quickly checking to see whether or not there's any updates on anything as far as the Camping World truck goes, but I can't see anything. All right, here we go. Super late model on dirt at Volusia Speedway Park. This thing, oh, what a beast of a vehicle super late models are. Oh, look at the body twist. I don't know how we're going to go with this. This is going to be a real step up from a street stock. Just see how we go, you guys. These are a very, very different type of car to drive. You know what? That's awesome. That just puts a huge smile on my face.
16.684.
How good is this thing? It is fast as too. Now I guarantee I'm going to knock the wall down here off turn 4 too. Volusia.
16.533.
Volusia's an interesting track. It's kind of like a big D shape with the curved back straight. Just a rub on the wall there. No harm, no foul. But it means that there's some interesting
17.5
characteristics to this joint. Turn 1 is pretty tight to get into. Turn 2, very, very wide, but there's a gap in the fence on the back straight, which I think is incredibly dangerous. Always feel like I'm going into it. But then turn 3, very fast entry.
99.
And a very, very fast corner entirely, really. But you have to be careful because turn 4 exit is extremely tight with the wall on the outside. Doesn't really demonstrate it there.
17.009.
The other thing I always tend to do is get to the wall up here at turn 3. Now I'm talking about in R factor. See, haven't driven here yet. In iRacing. There's our friend the wall I was telling you about.
17.789.
Oh boy.
17.433.
The late models are a very different beast to drive. They're there's the wall that I always tend to get to, like I was saying. Late models are a very different car to drive. You almost drive them on the right front wheel.
16.914.
Makes them somewhat unique. They tuck right over on the right front in the corners, and they twist funny as well in the body. Wheels tuck in strange ways. You essentially
17.109.
Essentially the way that the frame, the body twists on these cars, it's trying to make the car stay straight wherever it can, because as is the case with anything on dirt,
16.8.
the straighter you can keep it, the faster it will go, basically. You want to keep the cars pointing in a straight line as best you can. And the other thing I'm not doing here as well is using the brake, which
16.538.
probably helps settle the car on turn in. Let's try and do some of that. Just a little feather, get the car settled.
16.832.
Bit awkward there, just rubbing the fence. The thing that's awkward for me is left-hand drive. Still cannot get used to left-hand drive. Getting a lot closer to the fence over here than I really think that I am. These are a wide car, don't forget.
17.351.
Still loving that tear-off animation. Try and actually hold a tighter line through here.
17.006.
waylaid on the exit 4.
16.687. .783.
These things are just incredibly fun. Come down and peel it into the pits here, and we might actually grab a new car and head out because this one's got some quite good damage. Then we'll come back and watch the replay for a little bit. It just puts a smile on my face, I'll tell you. I'm not sure what to expect when it comes to the sprint car, but to me on paper the late models are probably more of a car suited to me. I really love late models, I love modifieds.
16.337.
Big fan of what we call tin tops here in Australia, so basically closed cockpit. Whoa! Sedans. You know, things like that. It's a touring car background coming through. And I grew up around basically what is late models. You know, for a long time we called them, and they still exist today, but super sedans here in Australia. Not too indifferent to a late model anyway these days. But that's what I grew up around on a week by week basis in the summers. So these cars play towards my interests as a driver a lot, and probably more so even than the sprint cars, but that'll remain to be seen, because if sprint cars are good, if they handle good and they drive good, the sheer speed of those things will be hard to beat.
16.462.
We'll get to them next. Smack the wall down.
042.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. Go back here and go back a few laps. Fastest lap straight out of the pits there on this one. Change camera. Let's have a look at the twist in the frame, the way the wheels tuck. I have to say, like, it's... Oh, it's where we nearly got the wall over there on the back straight. The physics in this car, like, I kind of thought that it would have been a bit rigid looking, you know, and even watching the videos that iRacing has released in the build-up don't really do it justice to me quite how well they've represented the physics. You can see by looking at the way that the car flexes. Look at the right front wheel, it's tucked all the way up in under the guard like it is. Then you look at the left rear, it's all hiked up in the air. So I was saying, you sort of drive these cars off the right front tyre. It's visually obvious when you look at them from the outside. One of the coolest looking things, seeing a late model wound up like that. And of course, Volusia Speedway Park, I think they call it the fastest dirt half mile in the Northern Hemisphere or something. Maybe the world. It's a super fast track. You don't need to lift much at Volusia. Very fast track. And I can't believe how cool that looks. We go get in the wall. I can't believe quite how good that all looks. So anyway, let's skip ahead. We're going to go back here now. Go back to the test drive. We will quickly check again whether or not we have access to the dirt trucks, which I don't think we will have, but we'll quickly check anyway. Just in case, you never know. Something might have been updated somewhere. need to quickly do some sign-in stuff here. So this is very much a first impressions video for you guys, as you can tell. This isn't edited, it's not cut back. What you see is what you get. So we just sign in real quick. Apparently I can't remember my password. What have I done? Spelt something wrong somewhere. There we go. Now we're right again. Alright, so quickly, have we got... now I know you guys can't see this, I'm talking. But have we got the truck? Doesn't look like we do. Alright, we're going sprint car racing. And we're going to Williams Grove. Now, I'll second what I said before. Start with the slower cars. So you want to start with the 305 or the 360 to figure out how this works, to learn how to go about driving a sprint car, because these things are a real handful, and I'm hoping that I don't look like an idiot when I roll out in this thing and can't drive it or something. So loading up now. Yeah, I hope that I don't make myself look silly, but it's entirely possible. These things are super fast, and we're going straight to the 410 with no practice. As the textures all load in on the surface of the track. And even there, like, how detailed and good does the surface look on the track? It's incredible. Alright. My chair makes a bunch of weird noises. That sound. There we go. Pulling away. Let's just have a look at this track, because this is arguably one of the oldest, most famous, well-respected, most renowned dirt tracks in the world. Williams Grove, right in amongst the Pennsylvania mob down here. It's a tough track. It's super fast. It's got really long straights and then fairly tight corners, which is what makes it really hard. You can't just hold it flat around here, you'll hurt yourself. You got to respect this sort of place too. You got banking down in turn 1 and 2, and then a flattish sort of a turn 3 and 4. It's a unique sort of a joint. Hard track to probably master, I would think. But anyway, we're going to do our best. Here we go. Holy moly. It is fast. But I didn't hit anything yet.
23.142.
Oh, it's terrifying. Uh-oh. Oh no. We smacked the wall. As I expected we probably would. Let's go back. Let's go back out and try that again. Hopefully do a little bit better this time. The first thing I notice about this car is how weighted it feels. It feels heavy, the force feedback is strong, like I have my force feedback cranked up, but it feels weighted, it feels stuck to the ground. You can actually feel the car leaning over to the left, the way it should do, with that big wing on the top. Boy oh boy.
18.44.
Maybe we should have started with a 360 or something. We'll get there.
17.864.
Slowly building up some confidence. Oh, that exit of turn 4.
17.762.
Yeah, not using much throttle, not using much brake here at the minute. Getting a little bit better.
17.605.
A little bit better every time. A little bit more confident.
$17.564.
So the key with sprint car racing is keeping the car straight where you can. If you're putting huge amounts of lock on it and you're working the wheel in big directions, either left or right, you're doing it wrong.
17.582.
Oh, the end of the guardrail on the inside there. He's lucky. It's a bigger crash from that. You really want the car to plant, especially on the corner exits.
18.03.
Just turn 4 is so hard.
17.789. 17.723.
My arms are getting sore. It's hard work.
$17.421.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people that get straight into this car and then straight back out again. Scary.
17.38.
I like it. I like scary.
$17.375.
So while the track's nice and heavy, hasn't slicked up too much yet, you can sort of get away without really a lot of brake. Just keeping it planted in the gas. But as the track dries out, you're not going to be able to do that.
17.349.
Right out to the fence.
17.411.
Smacked it pretty good there that time.
18.302.
I think we're going to go, we'll go back out again, then we'll come back to the replay. I've seen the videos of the wheel stands. I had to do it. I had to. Alrighty, here we go again. That was very sideways. Although that feels like what you should do in a sprint car, because it's what you do with every other dirt car essentially. You don't want to be doing huge big slides like that. You don't pitch the car like that at the turns.
$17.762.
That wall off turn 4.
17.617. $17.676.
Nice wheelie. See there, I lifted. When you lift like that, that's when it all goes wrong. That's where it's kind of counterintuitive to drive a sprint car. You have to keep the throttle into it all the time, especially on a fast track like this.
.643.
Also feels a little bit like the track is starting to slick off here off turn 2 and onto the back straight. Again, I reckon you can see a line starting to form. Again here up off of 4. So I feel like the dynamic track is happening.
61.
Cool tear off animation, I can't get over that. Just how good does it look when the sun reflects off the track surface down here in turn 3? Down here even on the back straight. iRacing have done a fantastic job.
17.7.
I know there's been a lot of people that are skeptical. I'm sure there's a lot of people who will find issues with a lot of the stuff that's been released, but I'm happy with it. I think they've done a fantastic job. Hit the ball again.
19.977.
Let's go back and watch a few laps. You can actually really see the tyres. Look like they're getting very dirty there. I don't know if they're just always dirty, but they're matching the colour of the ground. So I like that. It's cool. It makes the car look like it's not disjointed from the track. I'll tell you what, you know, they've done a good job when it looks exactly like it looks in real life. The way that the car comes up off turn 4 here, the way it goes down into turn 1 and squats, that's very legitimate looking, I have to admit. Check out one of the other cameras. I think this is your normal broadcast sort of camera for this track. Oh, there's where we got the wall. Cool wheelie. Sort of just got away with that, and then that really awkward lift at the back end of the straight. You just can't do that. And you got to get out of the natural instinct of lifting when you think you're going where you don't want to. Because it just gets worse. And even on the external camera shots, it looks like the track here is starting to wear in a little. You can almost see the line starting to form. See it there, coming up off the turn. Down here into 3 again. And then what's this shot? This is just your far zoom. Entire track from one perspective, I would say. Oh, that was close to the wall. Close to the wall. Wow, what a fantastic combination this is. So let's go ahead and go back out of this again. And we're going to have one last look to see whether or not we've got access to the truck yet. If we don't, we're going to have to run something else at Eldora, because we have to have a look at Eldora. Okay, no updates for iRacing, and we'll quickly just refresh the test drive site. NASCAR Camping World Chevrolet Silverado, but no dirt version of it. That I can see anywhere. It's a real shame. So now we need to decide what we're going to run at Eldora, and I think we'll just stick with the 410 sprint cars. Can't imagine that they're going to be anything other than awesome. So apologies that we don't have the trucks at Eldora. I'll be coming back and doing a separate video on those once they're available. But I'm afraid, for the time being, that there's not much that I can do about it. I'm not sure whether or not that's an issue that everybody's having or just me, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to worry too much about it. We've been going for 50 minutes already. So here we are, sprint car at Eldora, because we don't have access to the truck. So we're going to have a look at it in the sprint car instead. And this is a cool track. This is the track I'm probably most excited about. I love the Dream. I love the Mud Summer Classic, as it was always called, trucks here. But I love the King's Royal. Especially love the King's Royal. The Joker's Wild, the night before the King's Royal. The Royal itself, it's a cool weekend. This has just come completely natural. Hold it flat. Let the car do its thing.
13.89.
So while the track is heavy, big arcing line down the straights out to the fence, and then around the pole line in the corners is the way to do it.
13.82.
Shortest way around the track, essentially. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
13.995. $13.748. $13.74.
Just got a little bit out of hand on me there.
13.833. $13.674.
Super fast track. Super fast.
13.708.
Sort of work my way up the track a little.
13.728.
Very minor steering inputs.
13.834.
Just ever so subtle.
$13.911.
It's just so fast.
13.997. $13.709.
And again, I reckon you can start to see the line coming in, just starting to lighten off a little.
13.854.
Especially up here on the back straight.
.673.
Now, funnily enough, as hard as the sprint car is to drive, and even the late model is pretty challenging, I honestly think it's the truck that will be the hardest to drive.
13.714.
It's the only one that's not specifically built for dirt. It's small tyres, not a lot of weight in the rear, big vehicle, and a lot of power.
13.589.
Not a combination built for dirt. So I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to do that.
.695.
Tell you what. What a combination this thing is.
13.589.
And I could just keep turning laps all day. I will mention as well, over here in Australia, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning right now, where I am. I've stayed up in the middle of the night on a school night. Not that I go to school, but I do go to work. I got to go to work in a couple of hours' time. I wasn't going to miss the chance to get into dirt as early as I could. Put together a video for you guys to watch. You can actually see now the track changing colour.
13.655.
It's becoming quite clear where I've been cutting the laps. I've been trying to do the same lines everywhere, every lap. To start working in the track surface, and you can see it right through the middle and up here on the back straight. That's super cool. Can't wait to see how that progresses through a session.
13.
With several cars on the track.
9. .712.
And with that, I'll peel it off into the pits and we'll begin to wrap this up. We'll take a look at it. Beautiful. Crashed into the barrels. Let's go back here and go back up a bunch of laps. We'll take a look at this thing. Fantastic. So I guess this is a impressions video, so my impressions of what iRacing has released here so far. Now, this is based purely on the cars and the tracks as they stand by themselves. Obviously we don't know what it's going to be like as soon as they start hosting servers and races and things like that. Based on just driving the car on the track by itself, I'm incredibly impressed. Which is what I thought that I would be, but the visuals alone are impressive. The tracks look immaculate, the cars look fantastic, the physics around how the cars look when they're driving is amazing. And you can see just by looking even at the sprint car here at Eldora, you'd be excused for mistaking it as a real car. It's just that good. I love the textures for the dirt. I think the track surface itself looks amazingly good. The fact that you can see the surface working in even by yourself after a few laps is quite astonishing. I wasn't sure how prominent that would be, whether it would be more of a feel it, not necessarily see it thing, but I have to say I'm extremely impressed by that. But then you go beyond that and you look at the cars themselves, how they handle, how they drive. They feel weighted, they feel connected to the track. The sprint car especially, the way that you can feel the air pulling the left hand side of the car down onto the ground from that big wing. I wasn't expecting to get such a good feeling out of that. And someone with real life experience in a wing sprint car will be able to tell you how accurate that actually is. But for me, in a sim environment, without having any experience in the real world, that to me seems like it feels authentic. And I think that they've done a good job with that. Sounds are really good. They don't blow me away, but they do sound good. But for me, the more important thing is physics, how the cars handle, how they feel to drive. And I think that they feel really good. The added bonus of having fantastic visuals, the graphics are great. That's a bonus. So that's my impression so far, obviously without the truck. That's how I feel about it based on what I've driven. It's a very brief introduction to it, as you can tell. I've been going for about an hour and that's all I've done. So in my first hour of dirt, you've seen it and you've got my impressions of what it's like from my point of view. Thanks to all of you for watching the video. Thanks for everyone who's supported me so far. Obviously dirt on iRacing is, I'm hoping, going to be a big part of this channel based on the following I've based around R-Factor dirt to this point. So you know, you guys can feel free to recommend what you want to see, combinations iRacing wise, but the reality of it is that with only 5 cars and 4 tracks, that I'll be doing all the combinations reasonably quickly in various races and sessions along the way. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Hobbo88. You get all the latest there, polls, the votes, and just general information, bits and pieces. So make sure you head over there and follow me on Twitter. If you want to get into iRacing for dirt, make sure that you, when you sign up, that you refer me. It doesn't do anything for you guys, but it does give me a kickback of, I think, about $10 of credits in iRacing. So make sure you refer my email, which is hobsongraphics. I'll put it in the description below, at gmail.com. But please do that, because it all helps every little bit and it keeps the channel running. I'm going to call it an end there on this video, but thanks to you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. But we're going to call that quits there. We'll see you guys in the next one.